to my channel. I'm so excited to do this video, I can barely even contain myself. I'm going to be sharing some very interesting news with you, as well as telling you about a couple recent videos that I found on YouTube that you'll want to check out if you're still interested / obsessed with the Chris Watts case. One of which is starting a complete firestorm. And I do love a good YouTube firestorm. But this isn't just any old YouTube firestorm. This one just may melt down the internet entirely. Now, I usually try to stay in my lane and don't get too close to major controversy online because I pick my battles and most of the ones online aren't worth it to me. But this firestorm, I already got my marshmallows and they're ready to go. The woman who's starting it claims she's doing it on behalf of Chris Watts and his family. She said she's been involved with the Watts family since early on in the case, and now she's going to be a voice for them in Chris's defense, in a series of videos that she will be releasing over the next few months. She posted her first video today, and she's taking a ton of heat for it on her channel. So, I assume that talking about it and sharing it on my channel will invite the firestorm my way. But I'm hella interested in what Chris and his family have to say, and it's getting cold here in Michigan, so a nice warm inferno sounds really good right about now. Bring it on, I say. Bring it on. After I share these videos with you, I also have info on a new Chris Watts book coming out on November 10th. Now, don't yell at me when I tell you who wrote it. I'm just letting you know. Don't shoot the messenger. Ready? I'm almost afraid to even say this. But I've already invited an entire firestorm, so how much more damage can it do? Cheryln Cadle. Yes, good old Cheryln, who is accused of plagiarizing another author in her first book about Chris's murders titled Letters from Christopher. Cheryln did an interview with Nancy Grace and said she has written a second book that is set to be released on November 10th. I know. You're screaming at me, but I think if we look on the bright side, I don't think she would chance plagiarizing another author a second time. Just a thought. Alright, I'm sorry. I've done nothing but piss you off this entire video so far. So, in a desperate attempt to regain your love, I'll also tell you about an upcoming virtual crime con that you might find interesting after I'm done pissing you off. Sound good? I love you. Okay. Get your marshmallows, s'mores, hot dogs, whatever, and let the firestorm begin. The woman who claims to be releasing these videos on behalf of Chris and the Watts family says her name is Kim. Her channel is called Chris Watts, Revelation in the Reckoning, and her first video of any substance is called Chris Watts, The Answers. Now, I already know what y'all are thinking. It's just some random YouTuber looking for attention by posting controversial videos. I get it. I thought the same thing. But you have no idea how smart you are by choosing to watch my videos, because I have the inside info on this one. It just so happens that I watched another video recently that was posted called Watts Family Tapes 2020, a world-exclusive prison visit with the Colorado Killer. It's on a channel called Watts Family Murders, and in the video, Chris calls his parents, and his mother tells him she wants to tell him about a woman named Kim who wants to write to him because she's been supporting them through it all. His mother says Kim is a huge Chris supporter, and she wants him to talk to her. I'm assuming it's the same Kim, because in the beginning of her video to defend Chris, she says that her name has appeared on Chris's approved visitors list for the past 2 years in Wisconsin, and people have wondered who she is. Now, I know you don't need proof, but just in case you want to judge for yourself, if she's legit or not before you invest time in watching her videos, you can hear Chris's mom say it for yourself on the Watts Family Tapes video at the 1 hour, 53 minute, and 30-second mark. I want you to make the judgment for yourself, because if you started following the case from close to the beginning, then you know the controversy that blew up on the internet over the YouTube channel called Plunder that seemed to rise up out of nowhere and suggest that maybe Shanann wasn't as innocent in all this as she once seemed. I believe the channel is legit, but you can judge for yourself before you watch. Oh my god. I almost said unless you've already been Chris Watts to death. Damn, that was close. Poor choice of words. Yikes. I shall choose instead, unless you're sick of hearing about Chris Watts and you're over it. How's that? If so, I understand. But, with all due respect to his victims, this is the case that just keeps on giving. And I, for one, want to hear what Chris and his family have to say. If you don't care what they have to say, I respect that. But please, 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 don't come for me in the comments of my own video, on my own channel, and tell me not to talk about it, to let it go, to give it a rest, yada yada yada. Or I'm going to blast you, politely, and let you know that since it's my damn channel, I'll talk about whatever I want. Then, I'll thank you for watching and commenting, blow you a kiss, and send you on your merry way. Now, I don't mean my loyal supporters who I love to pieces, 'cause I know you wouldn't do that. I'm referring to the many, many viewers who think they have the right to silence you on your own channel and censor the topics you choose to discuss. That has been going on so long in this case, all over the internet, and it's part of the firestorm that is currently raining down on Kim on her new channel defending Chris. Now, whether you are American or not, there is a little thing called the First Amendment. It affords little old American citizens like moi to say whatever the hell I please about anything I please on my channel. YouTube doesn't allow me to do that, but the U.S. Constitution does. Who would have ever thought YouTube would trump the U.S. Constitution, right? But anyway, so I can discuss this case on my channel until I'm blue in the face, and you can't do a thing about it. You can share your opinion about it, but I can delete your comment. So, don't even waste your time. Besides, I don't know if you've already heard or not, but Frankie Rzucek, Shanann's brother, says he's doing anything and everything in his power to shut down YouTube channels that are discussing the case or his family, and he plans to sue the creators. For those of you who are fans of Armchair Detective in England, he is Frankie's main target. Now, I'm sure Kim and her channel, Defending Chris, will become his next target because Kim isn't playing. She's coming out full force in defense of Chris and tries to prove in her very first lengthy video that Shanann killed her girls, not Chris. She uses the CBI interrogation, the discovery papers, and the results of the girls' autopsies to try to prove her case, which explains why Chris's parents remain so supportive of him. They believe Shanann did it. Now, you may be way ahead of me on this if you read his mom Cindy's book, All My Broken Pieces, because maybe she discussed it in there. I don't know. I never read her book, so I never really knew what they believed and what they didn't believe until I saw Kim's first video today. Frankly, when I saw little to no reaction from Chris's dad when Chris told him that his granddaughters had been murdered in the squad room interview, I didn't really care to hear any other reaction they may have had to what their son did at all. Then I watched the Watts family tapes video and heard Sydney tell Chris over and over that he has lots of people supporting him and that she doesn't care what he did, she still loves and supports him. That intrigued me, because as a mother myself, I could never say that to my son. I could never say that I didn't care what he did if he had killed my grandchildren. I understand her still loving him, because I would do the same. I would never stop loving my child. But that doesn't mean I would ever have to accept or forgive him for what he did. How does that saying go? Love the sinner, hate the sin? Yeah, that would be me. But it blew my mind when she told him she didn't care what he did. Now I understand. She only thinks he killed Shanann, not her grandchildren. So, she understands why he did it, because she never liked Shanann anyway, and she forgives him for it. Oh my god, guys. I got so excited to do this video, I forgot to set the oven timer, and I just burned dinner to a crisp. Good thing I learned how to edit my videos, so I could cut and run as soon as I remembered. Man, now we're gonna starve. Wait, I'll order pizza. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Pizza's on the way. The beauty of editing, huh? Sorry I forgot to ask you what you wanted on it, but some of y'all would have said ham and pineapple. I know you would have. And I don't do ham and pineapple, so we would have fought. 'Cause fruit doesn't belong on pizza. Period. And if you disagree with me, I shall refer you to my previous statement in this video regarding my First Amendment right to declare publicly, without any shame, that fruit does not belong on pizza. So there. And now that I've started another firestorm on my own channel, I'm going to go a step further and say that I don't think fruit belongs on any type of dessert either. But that's a whole other video. Collective gasp. She did not. Yes, she did. But don't get too upset. I just damn near burned down my house over a Chris Watts video, so, consider the source. Thank God I remembered. Could you imagine? I'd be sitting in the back of the house with headphones on recording, so I can't hear a thing, while the front of the house is in flames, and the fire department is trying to put it out. And here I am going, and another thing about Chris Watts, right? I can see the news now. Die-hard YouTuber refuses to stop recording amidst house burning down around her. Film at 11. That would be a hell of a way to become YouTube famous, huh? And talking about becoming famous, you'll have to remind me one of these days to tell you the story of a tiny little thing I did when the pandemic started to help support nurses at a hospital that caused my own personal shitstorm with the media. As you can see, I don't particularly like to be on camera, but one of my local news stations decided to do a story on what I did, which frickin' went everywhere. I was all over the news. Then CNN picked it up. Then other news channels picked it up. Then my phone started ringing off the hook. And The View called to get me to go on the show, and Dave Ramsey, and tons of others. And all I wanted to do was crawl under a rock and hide. But I'll save that for another video. So, one of these days, if you hear about a YouTuber whose house burned down around her while she was recording, it'll be me. For sure. Then you can say, hey, I knew her. Unless you don't want to admit it. Then I wouldn't blame you. Man, now that I've offered you all pizza, I better hope I don't get too many views on this video, or that's going to get expensive. But you're worth it. Okay, back to Chris Watts. Kim's video was informative, but not a whole lot more than I've already heard. Except she did explain how Chris claims Shanann was positioned when he strangled her, which to me explains why she was unable to fight back. She said Chris claimed Shanann was laying on her side and he was straddled on top of her, which would hold down her arms, leaving her defenseless. For some reason, I always thought she was lying on her back when he straddled her. I think because he said she told him to get off because she thought he was going to hurt the baby. I think we may have all had that impression, and that's why we thought it was so bizarre that she didn't fight back and he didn't have any defensive wounds. Even Shanann's dad said that knowing her, she wouldn't have gone peacefully. He said that if she could have, she would have fought like hell. And I think we all agreed. Don't you just love how I speak for you? Like I know what you thought and agreed with in this case? Well, I do. I know you better than you think. So, because I don't want to steal Kim's thunder, I won't tell you everything in the video, but I will tell you that she takes Chris's account of what happened and matches it up to the reports of the injuries actually found on the girls and Shanann. Now, as much as I want to hear everything Chris and his family have to say in his defense, out of morbid curiosity, I have to wonder what they feel they can gain by releasing this information to the public now. He already confessed to all the murders, he's been sentenced, and he's serving his time. Other than just wanting to sway people into believing that Chris is innocent of killing his girls, I don't know what they think they're going to get at this point. And really, why do they care what the public thinks? I wouldn't. Not this far out from the murders. I mean, Cindy already wrote a book. A number of other books were written on the case. And if Chris wanted to, he could have written his own book. I thought that was what he was using Cheryln for. to get his version of the truth out there. So, I'm not exactly sure what the motive is behind doing these videos, but I have a gut feeling that Kim is the driving force behind the decision to do them. I think she's been so heavily invested in the case and such a Chris supporter that she wants to get what she considers to be the whole story out there in hopes that people will change their minds about Chris's guilt, even if just for Chris's family's sake. Because really, that's kind of what Shanann's family did with their recent cooperation with Netflix to do the documentary, An American Murder, The Family Next Door. Frankie Rzucek said their family had a lot to say in how the documentary was done, and he felt they did a nice job of honoring Shanann and the girls. From what I read online, many people agreed with that. So maybe Chris's family never felt that they got to have their say on such a grand scale, and this is their attempt at doing that. Now, get your marshmallows ready, because I'm about to add some fuel to our firestorm. If you've followed this case, you know that people have either decided they are on Team Shanann or Team Chris. It's been very polarizing, and there hasn't been much in between. So, a lot of people are offended by the fact that Kim is even suggesting that Chris may not have killed his girls. They're flipping the hell out in her comments, calling her all kinds of names, treating her like crap, and saying she's evil for what she's doing. I disagree. I don't understand why people act like that. Hear me out. She's stating an opinion, an unpopular opinion, but an opinion. She's offering proof to support her claims, and she's asking that people consider what she's presenting with an open mind. But people aren't. They're melting down and losing their minds. Why? Why wouldn't they want to hear what she has to say? Why wouldn't they want to see the proof that she's bringing to the table to see if they believe it or not? I do. I want to hear what she has to say. Then I want to see what she has to back up her claims. The worst that can happen is that she may prove something that I didn't know before. Something that might make me question other things that I was led to believe in the case. Now, I'm not saying I think or hope she'll change my mind, but how could you not want to know what she has that is important enough for her to stick her neck out for? Haven't we all been yelling and screaming since his jailhouse interview that he'll never tell the truth about what happened that night, so we'll never know? Haven't we been dying to know? So why shut her down? She claims to come bearing gifts. The very gifts we've been yelling and screaming that we've wanted all this time. So why don't people want to hear her out? What are they afraid of? Why can't people listen to opposing opinions, understanding that they don't need to adopt them as their own? I don't get it. They're acting like she came with a flamethrower to burn their lives down and steal their firstborn children. So scared. I welcome opposing opinions. I want to hear why you think you're right and I'm wrong. I learn so much by listening to people who don't agree with me. I don't agree with what they have to say, but I learn a lot about why they think the way they do, and it helps me understand why I think the way I do. She's challenging our beliefs in this case. She plans to take what we think we know and turn it on its head. If she can, and she has the proof to back it up, then why wouldn't everyone welcome that? Because despite what any of us thinks, none of us were there when the murders were committed. So not one of us can say definitively what exactly happened. Neither can Chris's family or Shanann's. The only person who has all the answers is Chris. And Chris is talking to Kim. Now, all you have to do is listen and decide if you believe it or not. That's all she's asking. That everyone hears her out. Is that really so bad? I don't think so. I think it's really intriguing that they decided to go public with this information now, and I want to hear it all. If you don't, that's fine. But for people to bash her, shame her, and try to keep the rest of us from hearing her out is selfish, entitled behavior, coming from little children throwing tantrums because they want to be right and don't want anyone telling them that they're not. If they were mature and educated, but not interested, then they wouldn't watch the videos and leave everyone else to their own choices. Okay, on to the Watts tapes, before this video ends up being 5 hours long. This video shows Chris's family visiting him in prison and plays recorded phone calls from him to his parents. He states many times that he doesn't feel comfortable discussing the case on the phone because he knows everything's being recorded. So you aren't going to get any juicy details from this video. But I did notice something I found interesting. Whether you like Cindy Watts or not, she is a mother. If you listen to her conversations with Chris, it's obvious she loves him and she's hurting that he's in the position he's in. I know. He put himself there. He made the decision to do what he did, yada yada. I get it. Trust me, none of that is lost on me. I don't have an ounce of sympathy for Chris. But she's his mother, and she's hurting. Whether she helped cause any of it or not, she's still a mother who is hurting. I'm a mom, so I can put myself in her shoes. So understanding that she doesn't believe that Chris killed his girls, only Shanann, I understand when she asks him, begs him, and pleads with him throughout the video to talk to an attorney, let them hire an attorney for him, and to fight to defend himself. Now, so this will make sense, these conversations took place prior to his confession and plea bargain to avoid a trial and the death penalty. But if you watch the video, you'll notice that every time she asks him to fight for himself and begs him to defend himself, he deflects it. She pleads with him to let them send him an attorney, and all he gives her is excuses why he doesn't want one. He's going to be transferred soon, so don't bother. He doesn't know where he's going to be, so just wait. He already made up his mind, so no point, etc. Every time, she literally begs him to fight for himself, but he's not interested. At all. Which leads me to believe that he knows there's no point, so he doesn't want them to waste their money. He knows they think he only killed Shanann, so they think he has a fighting chance. But he knows it's a lie, that he's willing to let them believe to make it easier for them to take, so he knows there's no point in fighting. He won't win, especially considering how he disposed of their bodies. So, Cindy's frustrated because she wants to help her son fight, but he won't let her. And he never tells her why. He never tells her to give up. There's no point. He did it. Nothing. So by trying to minimize her suffering, he's actually maximizing it because she doesn't understand. But deep down, inside, she does. She just doesn't want to accept it. She doesn't want to accept that the only reason why he wouldn't fight would be if he was lying to her. So, instead of accepting that hell, she chooses to keep lying to herself. That way, she's just frustrated with him. And that's so much easier to cope with than the truth. So, let me share something with you on my channel that you won't hear on Kim's. If you hate Cindy Watts, it's because she gives you no other option. She's desperately trying to hold on to her belief that Chris couldn't have killed her granddaughters. She has to. It's the only way she's going to survive this. She has to give herself no other option than to believe the story he told her. Because if she lets in the truth that she tries so hard to keep burying down deep inside, she won't survive it. It's too dark. So in an effort to save herself, she has to abandon anyone else's rational thinking. She can't let it in. Even if she knows how it looks to everyone else, she had to make a choice. Her or you. So when you hate her for supporting her killer's son, consider that it's a survival mechanism. It's not that she doesn't know what we know. It's that she can't face it, or it will destroy her. And Kim is the perfect distraction from the truth, because she believes in Chris. So Kim's desire to convince the world that Chris isn't the monster that we all know he is only encourages Cindy to keep burying the truth deeper and deeper. And she wants that more than anything. Absolutely anything. She can't get what she needs from Chris, so she'll get it from Kim. Either way, she's going to get it, and we're going to deal with it. Okay, I'm sure you're all getting sick of me right about now, so I'll give you 2 more things, then I'll let you get on to watching the videos if you want. First, Cheryln Cadle's new book, The Murders of Christopher Watts. It's due out November 10th, and in the book, Cheryln says she still believes Chris is leaving something out. She says that she believes he drugged Shanann the night of the murders, and she's still haunted by her interactions with him. Now, I don't know where her book's going to be sold, but I'm sure if you search it after it's released, you'll find it on Amazon or something. If you want more information about it, there's a video about it on Plunder's YouTube channel called New Chris Watts Book 11 2020. And last but not least, if you haven't heard about it yet, CrimeCon House Arrest is a virtual event presented by the Oxygen Channel, and it'll be streaming live on Saturday, November 21st. There is a cost to attend that starts at $89, though, just so you're aware of that. But they say they're going to have some awesome guests, so it might be worth checking out. And with that, I shall let you go and wish you well. Oh, and one more thing, in case you haven't heard. Nicole Kessinger filed documents for a name change recently, after the Netflix documentary was released. Wonder why? She can run, but she can't hide. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you on my next video.